Benvenuti! Welcome to Italian for Beginners, Lesson 1, Course 1. I'm your Italian teacher Claudia, and I'm really looking forward to starting this journey with you. So, without further hesitation, let's get started. Today's lesson is all about greetings, saluti in Italian. Saluti. Perfect. Because greetings are very important and they're probably the very first thing you're going to use when speaking in Italian. Okay, so the first greeting we're going to learn together is hello. Hello in Italian is ciao. You've probably heard this word before. Ciao. Perfect. And then, how to introduce yourself. In Italian, as in English, there are two ways to introduce yourself. The first one, and the most common one in Italian, is with the use of the verb to be, as in English. For example, I am Claudia. Sono Claudia. Sono Claudia. Perfect. So, sono corresponds to am. And as you might notice, in Italian, we don't use subjects that much. You could have said, io sono Claudia, so I am Claudia, but the subject pronoun I is not really needed, so we don't use it, okay? The second way to introduce yourself is, my name is Claudia, and that in Italian is, mi chiamo Claudia. Repeat right after me, please. Mi chiamo Claudia. And that literally means I call myself Claudia. So my name is Claudia. Okay? Great. Then, if you want to ask the other person the same question, you can say, what is your name? And that in Italian is come ti chiami? Come ti chiami? Perfect. And that literally means how do you call yourself? So what is your name? Okay? Great. Perfect. And then, after introducing to one another, you're going to say nice to meet you. Nice to meet you in Italian is piacere di conoscerti. That's long, I know. Piacere di conoscerti. Perfect. Or you can just say piacere. It's the same. Perfect. So let's do our first exercise. During our lessons, we're going to do a lot of exercises, and this is the first one of them. So we have a mini dialogue, and the sentences you see are the ones that I'm going to read. So what you have to do is to reply to those sentences. So I will start reading them, and I will leave you a few seconds to reply. If you need more time, just pause the video, take your time, and then start again. Okay? Let's do it. Ciao! Come ti chiami? Mi chiamo Claudia. Piacere. Great. How did you do? Did your sentences look like these ones? If yes, great job. If not, don't worry about it. I mean, you can try this exercise one more time. Okay? There is no rush. So let's move on with other greetings. The first one is good morning. Buongiorno. Buongiorno. Perfect. Then we have the afternoon. Good afternoon is buon pomeriggio. Buon pomeriggio. Perfect. Good evening is buonasera. Buonasera. Perfect. And finally, good night is buonanotte. Buonanotte. Great. Awesome. Okay, then how about you want to ask someone, how are you? So in Italian, there are two ways to ask these questions. The first one is come stai? Come stai? And that literally means how do you stay? Yes, we use the verb to stay instead of the verb to be. I know it might sound weird, but that's how it is. Come stai? Perfect. The second option is come va? Come va? And that literally means how is it going? Okay? Perfect. And you can use both. So you have two questions, and you have two answers as well. The first way to say, for example, I am well is sto bene. Sto bene. And that literally means I stay well, because as you remember, we said that we use the verb to stay. Or if you want to answer to both come stai or come va, you can also say tutto bene or va tutto bene. Tutto bene, va tutto bene. It is going well, okay? And if you want to say I am very well, what you have to do is just to add molto. Sto molto bene, for example. Va tutto molto bene. Okay? Perfect. Then, if you want to ask and you, so to know how is the other person, once again, you have two options. The first one is e tu? E tu? And the second one is e lei? E lei? So both these questions mean and you. But what is the difference then? In Italian, actually, there is a very important difference. So tu corresponds to the subject pronoun you, while lei corresponds to the subject pronoun she. Okay? So, and in Italian, we use she when talking, for example, to someone that we don't know, someone that we respect, someone that is older than us, or someone that is in a higher position than us. So, for example, if you're talking to your friends, you're going to use the subject pronoun tu. If you're talking, for example, to one of your professors, you're going to use the subject pronoun she. Okay? Is it clear? Perfect. So let's do another mini dialogue. The structure is still the same. So the sentences you see are the ones that I'm going to read, and we'll make a few pauses to leave you enough time to reply. Okay? Ready? Let's do it. Ciao, buonasera. Come stai? Sto molto bene, grazie. So, how did you do? Did your sentences look like these ones? If yes, great job. If not, try this exercise one more time. Learning languages is all about practice. Okay? Perfect. So let's move on. How to say goodbye in Italian? Once again, there are two options. The first one is the one that we have already seen. Ciao. So you can use ciao as hello and goodbye. And the other option is arrivederci. Arrivederci. What is the difference then? Ciao is a little bit more friendly, while arrivederci is a little bit more formal. For example, if you're leaving your group of friends to go back home, you're going to say ciao. If you're leaving a restaurant, you're going to say arrivederci. Is it clear? Perfect. Then, see you later is a dopo. A dopo. Perfect. And see you soon is a presto. A presto. Perfect. Very good. So one last exercise. Once again, I will start reading the sentences and you will have to reply. Okay? Let's do it. Ciao. Mi chiamo Claudia. Piacere di conoscerti. Sto molto bene. E tu? A presto. How did you do? Did your sentences look like these ones? If yes, great job. If you made some mistakes, there is no problem. Just try to complete this mini dialogue one more time. Okay? Very good. So before ending our first lesson, let's review all the vocabulary we have learned. As usual, please repeat right after me. Ciao. Sono Claudia, mi chiamo Claudia. Come ti chiami? Piacere di conoscerti. Buongiorno. Buon pomeriggio. Buonasera. Buonanotte. Come stai? Come va? Sto molto bene, va tutto bene. E tu? E lei? Arrivederci. A dopo. A presto. Perfect. Great. So we have just finished our first Italian lesson and I'm really proud of your progress. So complimenti, congratulations. I'm really looking forward to seeing you here again for our second lesson together. Have a great day and thank you for being with me. Ciao. Benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Beginners. Lesson 2, Course 1. I'm your Italian teacher Claudia and I'm very happy to virtually see you here again with me today. So, without further hesitation, let's start our second lesson. So, first of all, let's review all the vocabulary we have learned during the first lesson. As usual, please repeat right after me. Ciao. Sono Claudia, mi chiamo Claudia. Come ti chiami? Piacere di conoscerti. Buongiorno. Buon pomeriggio. Buonasera. Buonanotte. Come stai? Come va? Sto molto bene, va tutto bene. E tu? E lei? Arrivederci. A dopo. A presto. Perfect. Did you remember them all? So, today's lesson is all about manners. Buone maniere in Italian. Buone maniere. So let's start with please. Please in Italian is per favore. Per favore. And as in English, you can use it both at the beginning of the sentence and at the end. Okay? It doesn't really matter. The important thing is to say it. Then, how to say thank you. Thank you is grazie. Grazie. So you really need to pronounce the last letter, I in English, but the letter I in Italian is E. We're going to see it better when we're going to do the alphabet. For the moment, the very important thing is to say grazie and not grazie. Okay? Perfect. Then, if you want to say grazie mille, Grazie mille is thank you very much. Grazie mille. And that literally means thank you 1,000 times. Apparently they're never enough, okay? Perfect. Very good. Then you can say you're welcome. You're welcome in Italian is prego. Prego. Perfect. Very good. And how about if you want to apologize? So as usual, there are two options. The first one is I am sorry, and that corresponds to mi dispiace. Mi dispiace. Perfect. And the other one is excuse me. But you have two ways to say excuse me. The first one is scusa. Scusa. And the other one is scusi. Scusi. What is the difference then? Do you remember in last lesson we actually saw it? So in Italian we have a more friendly way and and one that is a little bit more formal. So basically, scusa is friendly. So you're gonna apologize with scusa to your family and to your friends, for example. Scusi is more formal. So you are going to use it to apologize with people that you don't know, or with people that are older than you, or that are in a higher position than you. For example, your boss. Okay? So what is the difference between mi dispiace and scusa or scusi? So you use mi dispiace when regretting something that happened before. Scusa or scusi are used when you apologize for small things or also for more important things, okay? Let's try some exercise. So here you have a situation, and what you will have to do is to decide whether to use mi dispiace or scusa or scusi, okay? Are you ready? So I will read the context. So you are walking in a store and accidentally nudge someone as you pass by. What do you say? Yes, you say scusi. You use scusi because you don't know the person that you actually nudged. Okay? Is it clear? Perfect. Let's try another situation. So you're sitting in a restaurant and want some more water. So you call over the waiter, and what do you say? Yes, you say, once again, scusi, because you don't know the waiter. And to be polite, you are going to use the more formal way. Okay? Perfect. Let's try another one. So you're having a conversation with someone and you want to interject. What do you say? Yes, you say scusa, assuming that you know pretty well the person you're having a conversation with. For example, a friend. For example, your parents. I don't know. Perfect. Then let's do one last context. So you're hungry and you eat your roommate's last homemade cookie, but you didn't know that she was saving it. So what do you say? Yes, you're saying mi dispiace because you're regretting that you ate that cookie. Okay? Very good. Perfect. So talking about food, let's add a few words, okay, concerning food, in this case more about beverages. So when learning like Italian words, you always need to learn them with the article, because that's how you will know if the word is masculine or feminine. And that's very important. And we're gonna see why. Okay, for the moment, just learn the words with the article. Okay, so coffee is il caffè. And il is a masculine article. Okay, so caffè is a masculine word too. Il caffè. And there is an accent at the end. Okay, very good. The water. The water in Italian is l'acqua. L'acqua. So you have CQU, okay? And acqua is a feminine word, so its article would be la. But since we have actually two A's, one right next to the other, la acqua, what you do is actually you eliminate the first A, the A of the article, and you put an apostrophe. So l'acqua. Perfect. Then we have the beer, la birra. La birra. And once again, birra is feminine and la is a feminine article. Okay? Perfect. So for example, if you're in a restaurant and you want to ask the waiter to bring you, I don't know, some water, how can you ask, can you bring me? That question in Italian is può portarmi. For example, può portarmi l'acqua? Can you bring me some water? Perfect. And once again, we are using a formal way. Okay? Può portarmi. Very good. Perfect. So before ending our second lesson, let's review all the words we have learned today. So let's start with per favore. Repeat right after me, please. Grazie mille. Scusa, scusi. Mi dispiace. Acqua. Caffè. Birra. Mi può portare? Perfect. Very good. So, complimenti. Congratulations. You have just finished your second Italian lesson. And I'm very proud of your progress. I'm really looking forward to seeing you here again for our third lesson. And have a great day. Grazie. Ciao. Benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Beginners. Lesson 3, Curse 1. I'm Claudia, your Italian teacher, and I'm looking forward to starting this new lesson with you today. Before starting, let's review all the vocabulary we have seen in last lesson, in lesson 2. Okay, as usual, please repeat right after me. Per favore. Grazie mille. Scusa, scusi. Mi dispiace. Do you remember the difference between mi dispiace and scusa? If not, return to the previous lesson. Please. Acqua. Caffè. Birra. Mi può portare? Perfect. Great. So today's lesson is all about numbers. I numeri in Italian. Numeri. Okay? Ready to start? So let's start with number 1. 1 is uno. Uno. Perfect. Then we have due. Due. Tre. Tre. Quattro. Quattro. Cinque. Cinque. Perfect. Sei. Sei. Sette. So you have a double T here. Sette. Otto. Otto. Great. Nove. Nove. And finally, 10. 10. So you really pronounce all the letters. 10. Okay? Great. So let's move on. Then we have 11. 11. 12 is 12. 12. 13 is 13. 13. 14. 14. Okay? Perfect. 15. 15. Perfect. 16. 16. Great. 17 is 17. Lots of doubles here. 17. Perfect. Then we have 18. 18. Perfect. 19. 19. And finally, 20. 20. As in most languages, the hardest part when it comes to numbers is from 1 to 20. Then it becomes pretty automatic. Let's see it. 21, 21. Literally, it is 21. 21, 21. It becomes even more regular then. 22, 22. Okay? Does that make sense? 22. Then 23, 23. Easy, isn't it? 24, 24. 25, 25. 25. 26, 26. 27, 27. So you see, like it's pretty automatic. 27, 28, 28, 29, 29, and finally 30. Okay? So here we have all others examples, but as I told you before, it is pretty automatic. So for example, 30 is 30. So 31, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 40. And it's always the same thing. So 41, 42, 46 is, for example, 46, and so on. 50 is 50. So 51, 52, 59, for example, is 59. Okay, is it clear? 60 is 60. For example, 65, 65. 67, 67. Okay? 70 is 70. So 71, 72, 73, 74, and so on. 80 is 80. 81, 82, 89 is 89. Okay? 90 is 90. 90. 94, 94. 98, 98. Okay? It's always automatic. One exercise that you can do is to take like random numbers in English and try to translate them into Italian. Okay? 99 then is 99. And after 99, we have 100. 100. 100. Is it clear? Perfect. Very good. So, to review all the numbers, what you can do is just go back to the beginning of this lesson and practice again. As I told you before, writing some numbers in English and try to translate them or say out loud in Italian is a very good exercise to learn them. Okay? So, very good work. I know numbers can be tricky at the beginning, but with practice, you're gonna learn them. I'm really confident about it. So, complimenti, congratulations. You have just finished your third Italian lesson. and I'm really proud of the work that you're doing. So have a great day, and thank you for being with me one more time. Ciao, grazie. Benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Beginners, Lesson 4, Course 1. I'm Claudia, your Italian teacher, and I'm very happy to virtually see you here again with me today. So, before getting started, maybe you would like to review all the numbers we have learned in Lesson 3. To do so, please return to the previous lesson and practice one more time. Okay? Perfect. Today's lesson is all about colors. Colori in Italian. Colori. Perfect. So let's start with blue. That's easy. Blue in Italian is blu. Blu. Perfect. Then we have red. Red can be either rosso and rossa. Rosso, rossa. What is the difference then? Rosso needs to be used with masculine words, and rossa needs to be used with feminine words. That's why learning if the word is masculine or feminine is very important, because the adjective needs to match it. Okay, so if you have a masculine word, you need to use the masculine version, if there is one, of the article. If we return to blue, for example, you see that there is only one option, because you use blue, like that, both for masculine and feminine words. With red, you have the two possibilities. Okay, is it clear? Perfect. Then we have yellow. Once again, we have the masculine version, giallo, giallo. Perfect. And the feminine one, gialla, gialla. Great. Then we have green. Green is always verde. Verde. So you use verde both for masculine and feminine words. Then we have brown. Brown is always marrone. Marrone. Great. Purple is viola. Viola. Not viola, but viola. Okay? Perfect. Then we have pink. Pink is rosa. To be used with both masculine and feminine words. Rosa. Perfect. Then we have black. Black is nero for masculine words, or nera for feminine words. Nero, nera. Okay? Great. Then we have white. White is either bianco, bianco, or bianca, bianca. Awesome. Perfect. Then we have gray. Once again, two possibilities. Grigio for masculine words, grigio, and grigia for feminine ones. Grigia. Perfect. Awesome. Then we have orange. Orange is always arancione. Arancione. Perfect. So let's do one small exercise. So you see here you have many colors. What you will have to do is to say out loud, or to write, if you prefer to, the corresponding color in Italian. Okay? So what I suggest you to do is to pause the video, say out loud the colors or write them down, and just start again with the video again. Okay? Because I'm going to reveal the solutions. Okay? Ready? Time to pause the video. And here are the solutions. So how did you do? I'm going to read all the colors, okay? One more time. Blu, rosso, giallo, verde, marrone, viola, rosa, nero, bianco, grigio, and finally arancione. So how did you do? Did you make any mistakes? If yes, try this exercise one more time, okay? Great. So let's practice a little bit with words too, okay? So common words, for example, the table. Il tavolo. Il tavolo. Now you know why articles are so important in Italian. Il is a masculine article. Tavolo is a masculine word. So for example, if you need to use an adjective, you have to match it, so it needs to be masculine. If there is if there is the option to have the masculine form of the adjective. Okay? The chair, la sedia. La sedia. Sedia and la are feminine words. Okay? The bag, la borsa. La borsa. Perfect. Feminine words as well. The book, il libro. Il libro. Il, masculine article for a masculine word. The mirror, lo specchio. Lo specchio. So pay attention. In Italian, when you have CHI, the sound is always K. It's never CH. Okay? Lo specchio. Great. The pen, la penna. La, feminine article for a feminine word. Then, how to say for example, a pen? Well, in Italian, that's complicated because we have 4 options. So basically, the most common ones are un, masculine, una, feminine, una penna, for example, un tavolo. But there are also less common options. The first one is uno. So uno is for masculine words, but just the masculine words, for example, that begins with S plus a consonant, uno specchio, as we have seen before, or you can use uno in front of words that begin with PN or PS or PT, or that begins with X. It's just a few words, actually. And un, with an apostrophe, is the feminine a that you use in front of feminine words that begins with a vocal. Okay? So that's it. The most common ones, un, una, un with an apostrophe in front of feminine words that begin with a vocal, uno, masculine article for words that begin with S plus a consonant, PN, PS, PT, X. Okay? That comes with practice. Now it seems complicated. I know it. So let's do an exercise. What you will have to do here is to match the color to the word. Okay? So I will start reading the words in Italian and I'll leave you a few seconds to say out loud the color. Okay? Ready? Let's start. Il libro. As usual, if you need more time, just pause the video. Okay? Il tavolo. Una penna. Una borsa. Lo specchio. La sedia. Great. So how did you do it? Did the colors you wrote were these ones. So, il libro rosso, because libro is masculine, so you need to pick the masculine adjective, rosso. Il tavolo nero, same thing. Nero matches with the masculine word tavolo. Una penna rosa. Rosa never changes. Una borsa gialla. Borsa is a feminine word, so you need to pick gialla instead of giallo. Lo specchio blu. Blue never changes. And finally, la sedia verde. Verde never changes as well. Okay, is it clear? As usual, before ending our lesson, let's review all the vocabulary we have seen in this lesson. So, please write the words right after me. Blu, rosso rossa, giallo gialla, verde, marrone, viola, rosa, nero nera, bianco bianca, grigio grigia, arancione. And this is everything for the colors. Let's move to the objects. Il tavolo, la sedia, la borsa, il libro, lo specchio, la penna. Great, perfect. So, complimenti, congratulations, you have just finished your 4th Italian lesson, and I'm very proud of your progress. I'm looking forward to starting lesson 5, and have a great day. Thank you for being with me. Ciao! Benvenuti! Welcome to Italian for Beginners, lesson 5, course 1. I'm Claudia, your Italian teacher, and I'm very happy to see you here again with me today. So, before starting lesson 5, let's review all the words we have learned in last lesson. That was mainly about colors, and also we have done a few objects as well. So, as usual, please repeat right after me. Blu, rosso rossa, giallo gialla, verde, marrone, viola, rosa, nero nera, bianco bianca, grigio grigia, arancione, il tavolo, la sedia, la borsa, il libro, lo specchio, la penna. Okay, great. So, today's lesson is about a very important thing of Italian culture, the food. Il cibo. Il cibo. Great, perfect. So, let's start with the food. First of all, the bread. Il pane. Il pane. So the article for pane is il, and it's a masculine article, okay? Then we have the rice, il riso. Il riso. So it's a masculine word as well. Then we have the egg, l'uovo. L'uovo. So the article for uovo is the masculine lo. But since it begins with a vocal, then you delete the O and you put an apostrophe. L'uovo. Okay? Perfect. Then we have the meat, la carne. La carne. And that's a feminine word. Okay? Then we have the pork, il maiale. Il maiale. So masculine. The chicken, il pollo. Il pollo. Another masculine word. The beef, that's long. La carne di manzo. La carne di manzo. Okay, great. The fish, il pesce. Il pesce. Perfect. Then we have the vegetables, la verdura. La verdura. So it's a feminine word. Okay, great. The lettuce, la lattuga. La lattuga. Great. The onion, la cipolla. La cipolla. And it's a feminine word. The garlic, l'aglio. L'aglio. Here we have this combination of letter that for foreigners is always a little bit hard to pronounce, sorry. It's G-L-I, L. That's the sound, L. And then at the beginning it's a little bit complicated. Aglio is a masculine word. Then we have the pepper, il peperone. Il peperone. Perfect. The carrot, la carota. La carota. Awesome. The tomato, il pomodoro. Il pomodoro. Perfect. The fruit, la frutta. La frutta. So it's a feminine word, okay? So talking about fruits, the apple, la mela. La mela. Great. The banana, this is easy. So the only thing that changes is the pronunciation. The banana is la banana. So not banana, but banana. Perfect. Then we have the pineapple, l'ananas. It's a masculine word. L'ananas. Great. The strawberry, la fragola. La fragola. And it's a feminine word. The grape, l'uva. L'uva. And that's feminine as well. The article would have been is actually la, but since the word begins with a vocal, then you delete the A and you put an apostrophe. La uva becomes l'uva. Okay? Perfect. Then we have the drink. La bibita. La bibita. Perfect. Talking about beverages and drinks, the milk, il latte. Il latte. Perfect. Then we have the tea, il tè. Il tè. So never forget to put the accent, okay, over the E. The sugar, lo zucchero. Lo zucchero. Perfect. The honey, il miele. Il miele. Great. So, how to say I want? So, as usual, we have two options. Voglio, with that difficult sound, voglio, literally corresponds to I want. But it would be more polite to always use vorrei. Vorrei. That corresponds to the English I would like. Okay? Very good. Perfect. And then a last word, with. With, in Italian, is con. con. Perfect. Very good. So let's do a mini exercise. What you have to do here is to replace the red word in brackets with one of the foods we have done today, and that belongs to that category. So you have, for example, vegetables, fruit, drink, sweetener. Okay? So I'll leave you a few seconds to complete the exercise, but you can just pause the video and do it on your own. Take your time and then resume the video when you're done. Okay? Let's start. So I'll show you like 2 examples of solutions. For example, first sentence, vorrei riso con pollo e lattuga. Vorrei riso con pollo e lattuga. Example of the second sentence, vorrei una mela e latte con miele. Vorrei una mela e latte con miele. Okay, so your sentences do not have to be exactly like mine, of course. What's important is that you use like the right words. Okay? You can try to use and to make other sentences like these ones in order to make more practice with the words belonging to the food category. Okay? So, before ending this lesson, let's review all the new vocabulary. As usual, please repeat right after me. Il cibo, il pane, il riso, l'uovo, la carne, il pollo, il maiale, la carne di manzo, il pesce, la verdura, la lattuga, la cipolla, l'aglio, il peperone, il pomodoro, la frutta, la mela, la banana, l'ananas, la fragola, l'uva, la bibita, il latte, il tè, lo zucchero, il miele, voglio, vorrei, do you remember the difference? And finally, con. Great, awesome, great job. So complimenti, congratulations. You have just finished your 5th Italian lesson. We have still a long journey ahead and I can't wait to continue it with you. So have a great day and thank you for being with me today. Ciao. Benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Beginners, Lesson 6, Curse 1. I'm your Italian teacher Claudia and I'm very happy to start this new lesson with you today. So before getting started, let's review all the vocabulary of last lesson. Okay? As usual, please repeat right after me. Il cibo, il pane, il riso, l'uovo, la carne, il pollo, il maiale, la carne di manzo, il pesce, la verdura, la lattuga, la cipolla, l'aglio, il peperone, la carota, il pomodoro, la frutta, la mela, la banana, l'ananas, la fragola, l'uva, la bibita, il latte, il tè, lo zucchero, il miele, voglio, vorrei. Do you remember the difference? Con. Great. Perfect. Today's lesson is about the alphabet. L'alfabeto. L'alfabeto. A in Italian is A. A. So when you see an A in an Italian word, you always pronounce it as A. No exceptions. B, that's easy. B in Italian as well. C. So not C, but C. D, same. And this is the second trickiest one. Letter E in Italian is E. And that's super important. Every time you see letter E, that's E in Italian. Okay? Perfect. Then we have letter F, 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 G. H is H, H. So do you remember that letter E in Italian is E? Well, letter I in English is letter I in Italian. So E is E in Italian and I in Italian is I. Okay, that's very difficult. I know, at the beginning it's confusing, it's totally normal. Then we have J in Italian as well, but it's a letter that is not really used. Besides from jeans, we don't have many other words that begins or that has a J, okay? K, K, L, L, M is M, M, N, N, O, O. Okay, great. P, P. Q, Q. So you see, like, some letters are pretty similar to the English ones. Sometimes it's just a matter of pronunciation. R, R. S is S, S. T is T, T. U is U, U. V is V, V. Perfect. W is doppia V. If you think about it, that makes sense. This is V. This is doppia V. Okay? That literally means double V in this case. X, X. Great. Y. This is pretty different. Y. Great. Z, Z. Perfect. Awesome. So as I anticipated, that's very important because some letters as A are always pronounced as they look and they sound in the alphabet. So letter A is always pronounced as A. Letter E is always pronounced as E in Italian. Letter I is always pronounced I in Italian. Okay? Perfect. As an exercise, for example, you can try to spell your name. Okay? Perfect. So let's review all these letters all together, but a little bit faster. As usual, please repeat the letters right after me, please. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. So for example, if I have to spell my name, I would say C, L, A, U, D, I, A. Here it is. You can do the same. You can try with your name, with your parents' name, with your friends' names, with names of the objects, whatever you want. With the alphabet, it's really a matter of practice. Okay? So I'll leave you to your practice, and I'm going to say your complimenti. Congratulations. So you have just finished your 6th Italian lesson, and I'm very proud of your progress. So see you here for the next lesson, and thank you for being with me. Ciao. Benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Beginners. Lesson 7, Curse 1. I'm Claudia, your Italian teacher, and I'm very happy to see you here again today. So, before getting started, let's review the letters of the alphabet that we have seen last lesson. Okay, as usual, please repeat right after me. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Perfect. Very good. So today's lesson is about animals. Gli animali. Gli animali. So we have never seen gli before. That's an article as well. It's plural and it's actually masculine. So it's used with masculine and plural words. Okay? So let's start with the cat. Il gatto. Il gatto. Il, masculine article for a masculine word. The dog, il cane. Il cane. Perfect. The bird, l'uccello. L'uccello. So here, once again, the article is lo. But as the word starts with a vocal, you delete the O and you put an apostrophe. L'uccello. So it's a masculine word. Okay? The elephant, l'elefante. L'elefante. And here we have the same situation. So the L with an apostrophe, that was for lo. Then we have the lion, il leone. Il leone. Perfect. The bear, l'orso. L'orso. Very good. The horse, il cavallo. Il cavallo. Perfect. The tiger, la tigre. So it's a feminine word. La tigre. Very good. The bull, il toro. Il toro. Perfect. The turtle, la tartaruga. That's a long word. La tartaruga. Perfect. Then we have the pig, il maiale. Il maiale. You see, as we have seen with the alphabet, the letter I is pronounced as I, maia, and then the letter E at the end is always pronounced as E in Italian. Il maiale. Okay? Perfect. The cow, la mucca. La mucca. Perfect. Then we have the sheep, la pecora. La pecora. Very good. The duck, la papera. La papera. Perfect. And then let's add a few words. For example, to run, correre. Correre. To walk is camminare. We're gonna do the verb in details in the next lessons, okay? Camminare is to walk. Then, to jump, saltare. Saltare. Perfect. And let's add just a couple of adverbs. You're gonna see where we're going to. Fast is velocemente. Velocemente. And that's the adverb, okay? If you're looking for the adjective, that would be veloce. It's a fast car. È una macchina veloce. The car runs fast. La macchina corre velocemente. Okay? And slowly. Slowly is lentamente. Lentamente. Perfect. So let's do a small exercise. As you see here, you have some sentences with a few blank spaces. What you have to do is to add in the first blank space the name of the animal and then the following like adverb among the ones that we have done today. Okay? Just pause the video, take your time to complete the exercise and then resume it, okay? Because I'm going to reveal some possible solutions. Okay, time to do the exercise. Okay, so how did you do it? Was it easy? So here are some examples. La tartaruga cammina lentamente, for example. The turtle walks slowly. Second sentence, il cane corre velocemente. The dog runs fast. Okay? And then the last one, il gatto salta. The cat jumps. Okay, how was it? Try to do like some of these kinds of sentences with other animals and with the same adverbs. Okay? Perfect. So let's review all the vocabulary we have seen today. As usual, please repeat right after me. Gli animali. Il gatto. Il cane. L'uccello. L'elefante. Il leone. L'orso. Il cavallo. La tigre. Il toro. La tartaruga. Il maiale. La mucca. La pecora. La papera. The verbs. Correre. Camminare. Saltare. And finally the adverbs. Velocemente. And its opposite. Lentamente. Okay, so how was this lesson? Was it easy or was it a little bit more difficult? In either case, complimenti. Congratulations. You have just finished your 7th Italian lesson. And I'm very proud of your progress. I'm looking forward to continuing this journey with you. Have a great day. Grazie. Ciao. Benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Beginners. Lesson 8, Curse 1. I'm your Italian teacher Claudia, and I'm very happy to start this new lesson with you today. So before starting, let's review all the names of the animals that we have seen in lesson 7. As usual, please repeat right after me. Gli animali. Il gatto, il cane, l'uccello, l'elefante, il leone, l'orso, il cavallo, la tigre, il toro, la tartaruga, il maiale, la mucca, la pecora, la papera, correre, camminare, saltare, velocemente, lentamente. Okay, great. Did you remember all of these words? So today's lesson is about the verbs. The time has come to start with the verbs, okay? First of all, let's learn some new and old verbs. For example, we have already seen to walk. Camminare. Camminare. Perfect. To jump, we already know it. Saltare. Saltare. Perfect. This is new. To do exercise. Fare esercizio. Fare esercizio. Perfect. To swim. Nuotare. Nuotare. Perfect. To dance. Ballare. Ballare. Perfect. To play. Giocare. Giocare. Awesome. To sweat. Sudare. Sudare. Perfect. Very good. Then, andare in bicicletta. That's to ride a bike. Andare in bicicletta. And that literally means to go on a bike. Okay? And bicicletta is bike, but you can also say bici. It's shorter and it works. Bici. Andare in bici. It's okay. Perfect. To run, correre. We have already seen this verb in lesson 7. Correre. Perfect. And to open, aprire. Aprire. Perfect. Very good. Then how to say I like or I don't like? I like in Italian is mi piace. For example, mi piace il latte. I like milk. Mi piace. I don't like is non mi piace. Non mi piace. So what you have to do is just to add non before mi piace. Okay? Perfect. Very good. For example, I don't like something very much, or I like something very much. I like milk very much. Mi piace molto il latte. Very much is molto. And this is a difference from the English language. You don't place very much at the end of the sentence, but just after the verb. Mi piace molto il latte. Okay? Perfect. If you have to say, I don't like something, in this case the milk, very much, you just need, as usual, to add non before the rest of the sentence. So, non mi piace molto il latte. Is it clear? Perfect. So, let's do a small exercise. Here, what you have to do is just to add a verb at the end of the sentence. Okay? That's all. One of the verbs we have done today, of course. So I will start within the sentences and I will leave you a few seconds to complete it. Okay? Let's start with the first one. Mi piace. Non mi piace. As usual, if you need more time, just pause the video, okay? And the third one, mi piace molto. Okay, great. So how was it? I'll show you a few examples. Mi piace camminare. I like walking. Non mi piace sudare. I don't like to sweat. Mi piace molto ballare. I like dancing very much. Okay? Great. Perfect. So let's move on. Today we're talking about conjugation. So what is the verb conjugation? Basically, it's the declination of the verb according to the subject pronoun. In practical terms, it's actually the verbs that you use while you're talking. I do, we make, they play. Here it is. So let's start from the beginning. In Italian, there are three kinds of verbs. First group, the verbs that end with are, A-R-E, okay? Second group is made of the verbs that end with ere, E-R-E in English. Third and final group, the verbs that end with ire, I-R-E in English, okay? And their conjugation is a little bit different. So let's start looking at the desinences of the verbs of the first group. So the verbs that end with are. To conjugate a verb, you need to take the verb root. So it's the part of the verb without the last part. The last part in Italian is are, ere, ire. So you take the first part of the verb and you simply attach the desinences. So you see here, for example, for I, io, the desinence is o. I'm pronouncing the desinences in Italian, okay? For you, tu, in Italian, the desinence is I. For lui, lei, he, she, the desinence is a. For we, noi, in Italian, the desinence is iamo. For you, voi, the desinence is ate. And finally, for they, essi, the desinence is ano. I know it seems complicated right now, but let's see some practical examples. For example, camminare. Camminare is a regular verb. So first of all, what you have to do is to take the verb root. So the part of the verb, in this case, without are. So the verb root is cammin. Okay? And then you just need to add the desinences. So repeat right after me. Io cammino. Tu cammini. Lui, lei cammina. Noi camminiamo. Voi camminate. Essi camminano. Which are the accent here? Camminano. Okay? And that's super regular. Okay? Let's do another example. Saltare, to jump, is regular as well. So the verb root is the part of the verb without are. So salt. And then you add the desinences. Io salto. Tu salti. Lui, lei salta. Noi saltiamo. Voi saltate. Essi saltano. Is it clear? Perfect. Very good. Then we have andare. Andare, as in English, is an irregular verb. So even though the verb root should be and, the first conjugation is io vado. So it's completely different. Okay? Io vado, tu vai, lui, lei va. Then it becomes a little bit regular. Noi andiamo, voi andate, essi vanno. So it becomes irregular once again. With these verbs, the only thing you can do is to learn them by heart, as in all languages. Fare, to do, is another irregular verb. Okay? So let's start its conjugation. Io faccio, tu fai, lui, lei fa, noi facciamo, voi fate, essi fanno. Is it clear? Perfect. So now let's see the second group. So the verbs that end with ere. Okay? As you might notice, there are some tiny differences for the desinences. Okay? For example, lui, lei, the desinence is now e in Italian. So e in English. Okay? And for example, you all, the desinence is ete. Or for they, the desinence is ono. Okay? Let's see a practical example. Correre. Correre is a regular verb. So you take the verb root, so cor, with double R, and you start the conjugation. Io corro, tu corri, lui, lei corre, noi corriamo, voi correte, essi corrono. Perfect. Very good. And then we have the final group, so the verbs that end with ire. Once again, here you can just find a very tiny difference for you all. The desinence is ite. Okay? Perfect. So let's do a practical example. Aprire, to open, a regular verb. So the verb root is apr. Okay? So the part of the verb without ire. Io apro, tu apri, lui, lei apre, noi apriamo, voi aprite, essi aprono. Perfect. Very good. That's how it is. So for the regular verb, it's pretty easy. For the irregular ones, the only thing you can do is literally like to learn them. Okay? Very good. So before ending this intense lesson, let's review all the verbs we have done today. As usual, please repeat right after me. Exercise, esercizio. We haven't specifically done this verb, but you always see it when we're doing some exercise, okay? As a title. Camminare, saltare, fare esercizio, to do exercise, nuotare, andare in bicicletta, or andare in bici, giocare, sudare, correre, aprire. Mi piace, non mi piace. Mi piace molto, non mi piace molto. Okay, great. Complimenti, congratulations. You have just finished this intense lesson 8. And I'm very proud of your progress. We're gonna keep on working on the verbs, so don't worry about that. Have a great day, and thank you for being with me. Ciao, a presto. Benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Beginners, Lesson 9, Curse 1. I'm your Italian teacher, Claudia, and I'm looking forward to starting this new lesson with you today. So, before getting started, let's review all the verbs we have seen in lesson 8. Okay? As usual, please repeat right after me. Esercizio. Camminare. Saltare. Fare esercizio. Nuotare. Andare in bicicletta. Giocare. Sudare. Correre. Aprire. Mi piace, non mi piace. Mi piace molto, non mi piace molto. Great, perfect. So today we're keeping on doing some other verbs. We're gonna do the most important verbs, I verbi importanti in Italian. Okay? I know that it might seem a little bit boring when we're talking about verbs, but they are fundamental when speaking in a foreign language, as you already know. So let's start with the verb to be. Essere. Essere. Perfect. To have, avere. Avere. Great. To go, andare. We have already seen it. If you remember, andare in bicicletta, and plus we have done its conjugation in lesson 8. To be able to, potere, or can. Potere. Perfect. To talk or speak, parlare. Parlare. Great. To see, vedere. Vedere. Perfect. So let's keep on with the conjugation of these verbs. Okay? Let's start with the verbs that end with are. So this table is a little bit a review of the desinences that you need to attach to the verb root. So do you remember them? O, I, a, iamo, ate, ano. For the verbs belonging to the first group. So the group that ends with are. Okay? First example, parlare, to speak or to talk. Parlare is a very regular verb. So, io parlo, tu parli, lui, lei parla, noi parliamo, voi parlate, essi parlano. Okay, so basically what you need to do is to take the verb root, so the part of the verb without are, and you attach the desinences, the endings. Okay, perfect. Then this is a small recap of the desinences for the verbs of the second group, so the verbs that end with ere. Okay, so do you remember the main differences concern he, she, you all, and they? Okay, let's do some examples. Essere. Essere, the verb to be, as in all languages, is always irregular. So what you have to do is to learn it by heart. You cannot escape from that. So, as usual, please repeat right after me. Io sono. Tu sei. Lui, lei è. Always remember the accent. Because if you don't put the accent, the letter becomes, this word becomes e. E means and in Italian. So that's why the accent is very important. Noi siamo. Voi siete. Essi sono. Okay, great, perfect. Avere. As usual, this one is irregular as well. So first of all, let's start with I. Io ho. O. And here it is very important for I, you, he, she, and they to put the H at the beginning. Okay, that is super important. Tu, hai. So you don't really pronounce the H at the beginning. Lui, lei, ha. Noi abbiamo. So there is no H here, but you don't see the difference while talking. But when you see it written, then you see the difference. That's why you always have to remember to put it. The H. Abbiamo. Voi avete. There is no H here as well. And here, the H comes back. Essi hanno. Here as well is super important because if you have anno, if you write anno without the H, that means ear. Okay? So always remember the H where it needs to be. Okay, awesome. Then we have potere, to can, to be able to, and this is irregular as well. So, let's see its conjugation. Io posso, tu puoi, lui, lei può, noi possiamo, voi potete, and this is the only regular form. Essi possono. Is it clear? Perfect. Very good. So then we have vedere. Vedere, luckily, is a regular verb that ends with ere. So you take the verb root, ved, and you attach the desinences. So, io vedo, tu vedi, lui, lei vede, noi vediamo, voi vedete, essi vedono. Is it clear? Perfect. Very good. So let's do a small exercise. Here what you have to do is just to translate the conjugation of the verb. So I am in Italian is. So I'm going to read them in English and I'm going to leave you a few seconds to translate them. Of course, as usual, if you need more time, just pause the video and then resume it when you're done. Okay? Let's do it. I am. He speaks. They can. You are. We go. She sees. I have. If you haven't finished this exercise, just pause the video and take your time, okay? Because I'm going to reveal the solutions in a bit. Okay, so let's see the solutions. As I mentioned at the beginning of our lessons together, in Italian we don't use subjects that much, so they're not necessary. If you want to add them in the translation as an exercise, it's really good, but while you're talking, they're not necessary, okay? So, I am, sono. He speaks, parla. They can, possono. You are, sei. We go, andiamo. She sees, vede. I have, ho. Please don't forget the H. Okay? Very good. So let's do another exercise. You have to do the very same thing. You just have to translate the verbs. Okay? I will start reading them in English. As I mentioned before, if you need more time, just pause the video, okay? And complete the exercise. They are. I speak. You can. We are. You'll go. I see. They have. If you haven't finished, just pause the video and take your time because I'm going to reveal the solutions. Okay? So, they are, sono. I speak, parlo. You can, puoi. We are, siamo. You'll go, andate. I see, vedo. They have, hanno. Don't forget the H. Okay? So how were this exercise? Did you make, any mistakes? If you did, no problem. Just try this exercise one more time. Okay? With the verbs, it's a matter of practice. The more you practice, the better your knowledge of the verbs will be. Okay? Very good. So before ending our lesson, let's review the new verbs we have done today. So, essere, avere, potere, parlare, vedere. Great. Perfect. Complimenti. Congratulations. You have just finished your new Italian lesson, the 9th one. And I'm very proud of your progress. So I'm looking forward to starting a new lesson with you and have a great day. Grazie. Ciao. Benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Beginners, Lesson 10, Curse 1. I'm your Italian teacher, Claudia, and I'm very happy to see you here again with me today. So before getting started, let's review the new verbs we have seen in Lesson 9. As usual, please repeat right after me. So, essere, avere, potere, parlare, vedere. Okay? Perfect. Today, we're going to do part 2 of the important verbs in Italian. And then we're going to do their conjugation as well. So we're going to start with to know. To know in Italian is sapere. Sapere. Perfect. To know can be also conoscere. Conoscere. So what is the difference then? Conoscere is a knowledge that is a little bit more theoretical, while sapere is more practical. Okay? Great. Then we have to put mettere, mettere. Perfect. To say or to tell, dire, dire. Great. To want, volere. We have actually seen already a little bit of the conjugation of this verb. Do you remember the difference between io voglio and vorrei? That is the verb volere. To give, dare. Dare. Perfect. To eat, a very important verb is mangiare. Mangiare. Perfect. So, let's start with the conjugation. This table is a small recap of the desinences for the verbs of the first group. So, the verbs that end with are, in case you need to see them again. Okay? If you need like a few times to see them again, just pause the video. Okay? And take your time. We're going to do some practical examples. First of all, mangiare. Mangiare is regular. Okay, so there are no exceptions. So you see, the verb root is mangi. Okay, so the part of the verb without are. So let's say that it's conjugation. Io mangio, tu mangi, lui, lei mangia, Noi mangiamo. Voi mangiate. Essi mangiano. Okay? Watch out the accent here. Mangiano. Not mangiano, but mangiano. Okay? Perfect. Then we have dare, to give. Dare is irregular. Okay? Let's see its conjugation. Io do, like the note. Tu dai. Lui, lei dà. Watch out, there is an accent here. Dà. Noi diamo. Voi date. Essi danno. There is a double N here. Okay? Perfect. Very good. Then this is a recap for the verbs that end with ere. So the verbs of the second Italian group. Okay? If you need to see them again, just pause the video and resume it as soon as you're done. Example. Conoscere. To know. Conoscere is regular. So, io conosco. Tu conosci. Lui, lei conosce. Noi conosciamo. Voi conoscete. Essi conoscono. Okay? Perfect. Then we have the other to know. Sapere. And sapere is irregular. Okay? So, io so. Tu sai. Lui, lei sa. Noi sappiamo, with double P. Voi sapete, and this is the only regular form. Essi sanno. Okay? Perfect. Very good. Then we have mettere, to put. Mettere is regular. So you take the verb root, met, with double T, and you attach the endings. So, io metto, tu metti, lui, lei mette, noi mettiamo, voi mettete, essi mettono. Okay? Perfect. Then we have volere. We have already seen something about volere. Volere is irregular. So, io voglio, with that difficult sound, voglio. Tu vuoi. Lui, lei vuole. Noi vogliamo. Voi volete. Essi vogliono. Okay? Perfect. Then we have, if you remember, the verbs that end with ire. So this table is a recap about the desinencies. Once again, if you need more time, just pause the video. Okay? Perfect. Dire. Dire is a verb belonging to the ire group, and it means to say, to tell. And it's irregular. So, io dico, tu dici, lui, lei dice, noi diciamo, voi dite, essi dicono. Okay? Perfect. So let's do a small exercise, un esercizio. Once again, as we have done in lesson 9, what you have to do is to translate the verbs into Italian. Okay? I'm quickly gonna read them in English so that you can have an overview, and then just pause the video to take your time to complete the exercise. Okay? I know. He says. They want. You know. We eat. She gives. I put. Okay, so now it's time to do the exercise. Just pause the video and because I'm going to review the solutions now. So, I know, so. He says, dice. They want, vogliono. You know, conosci. We eat, mangiamo. She gives, dà. Did you remember the accent here? I put, metto. Great. Perfect. So let's do another exercise. Okay, that's the very same idea. So you just need to translate the verbs. Once again, I'm going to read them all first. They know. You'll say. I want. We know. You eat. I give. She puts. Perfect. Now time to pause the video and do the exercise. Okay? See you in a bit. So here's the solution. They know, sanno. You'll say, dite. I want, voglio. We know, conosciamo. You eat, mangi. I give, do. She puts, mette. Did you make any mistakes? If you did, just try this exercise one more time, okay? Or try to review the conjugation of the verbs. Perfect. Very good. So let's review the few new verbs we have done today. As usual, repeat right after me, please. Sapere, conoscere, mettere, dire, volere, dare, mangiare. Perfect. Great. So how was this lesson? Was it a little bit easier than the previous ones? In either case, complimenti. Congratulations. You have just finished your 10th Italian lesson. We are halfway in course 1. I'm really proud of your progress. Have a great day. Ciao. Benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Beginners, Lesson 11, Course 1. I'm your Italian teacher, Claudia, and I'm very happy to start this new lesson with you today. So before getting started, let's review the new verbs, the new important verbs we have learned in Lesson 10. As usual, please repeat right after me. Sapere, conoscere, mettere, dire, volere, dare, mangiare. Did you remember them all? If you forgot the conjugation, please return to the previous lesson and start to practice again. Okay? Perfect. So today's lesson is about reviewing Lesson 1. I know that reviewing might seem a little bit boring, but it's very important because that's how you consolidate your knowledge. So that's very important. It's fundamental when learning a new language. So if you remember, Lesson 1 was all about greetings, saluti, in Italian. So let's start to review those greetings. Hello is ciao. Ciao. Perfect. So then we did how to introduce yourself. Do you remember we have two options as in English? The first one is to use the verb to be. And now we have even done the conjugation of the verb to be. So I am Claudia, sono Claudia. Sono Claudia. Perfect. And then the other option is to say my name is Claudia. So in Italian that would be mi chiamo Claudia. Mi chiamo Claudia. Always remember that CH in Italian always corresponds to the sound K. Not ch, but K. Great. Perfect. So this is something new, but it's very important as well. So how to express your nationality? As in English, we just use the verb to be, and now you're able to use it. So I am Italian, in my case, sono italiana. Why did I say italiana? Because I'm a woman. If I were a man, I would have said sono italiano. Okay? Italiana, women. Italiano, man. Okay? Perfect. Then, another version to express your name is my name is. My name is Claudia, for example, in Italian is il mio nome è Claudia. Il mio nome è Claudia. Okay, my name is Claudia. That's another version. Then, how to ask someone else's name. What is your name? Is come ti chiami? Do you remember this question? Come ti chiami? That literally means how do you call yourself? Okay, perfect. Another possibility is to ask what is your name? Qual è il tuo nome? Qual è il tuo nome? This question is not really common, but it can become useful. So it's always useful to know it. Nice to meet you. Do you remember? It's either piacere di conoscerti or just piacere. Piacere di conoscerti, piacere. Perfect. Very good. So let's do a mini dialogue. So once again, I'm going to read the sentences you see here, and what you have to do is to reply. I always remind you that if you need more time, just pause the video when it's your turn. Okay? Let's do it. Ciao! Qual è il tuo nome? Il mio nome è Claudia. Piacere. Okay, great. So how did you do? Did your sentences look like these ones? If yes, great job. If not, try to understand where you made the mistakes and why you did it. Okay, and try this dialogue to fill this dialogue one more time. Okay, so let's move to the other greetings we have done in lesson 1. First of all, good morning. Buongiorno. Buongiorno. Good afternoon is buon pomeriggio. Buon pomeriggio. Good evening, buonasera. Buonasera. And finally, good night is buonanotte. Buonanotte. Perfect. Very good. Then, do you remember how to ask, how are you? So, do you remember that you have 2 options? So, the first one is, come stai? Come stai? Remember that in Italian, in this case, we use the verb to stay, stare. Perfect. Very good. And then the other option is, how is it going? What's up? Come va? Come va? Very good. And then you can reply, good, bene. Good is bene. And you? Do you remember the difference between e tu and e lei? So tu corresponds to the subject pronoun you, while lei corresponds to the subject pronoun she. And we use she when talking to someone that we don't know, someone that is older than us, someone that is in a higher position than us, like our boss, for example. It's just a way to be more respectful and more polite as well. Okay, great. So let's do another mini dialogue. Once again, I will start reading the sentences and you will have to reply. If you need more time to reply, just pause the video. Okay? Let's start. Ciao! Buonasera. Come va? Bene, grazie. Okay, so how was it? Did your sentences look like these ones? If yes, great job. Okay, if not, try this exercise one more time. Perfect, great. So then, do you remember how to say goodbye? Do you remember that we have two possibilities? Ciao, so you use ciao both when you're coming and when you're leaving. So as hello and goodbye as well. But it's a friendly way to say goodbye. The other option is arrivederci. Arrivederci. That is a little bit more polite and formal. Okay? Perfect. See you later is a dopo. A dopo. Very good. And then let's review all these expressions from lesson 1. So the new ones. Let's see the new ones, okay? And some of the most tricky one. So, how to express nationality? Sono italiana. For example, if you're American and you're a man, you would say sono americano. If you're American and you're a woman, you would say sono americana. Okay? Perfect. Il mio nome è Claudia. Qual è il tuo nome? Come va? People, I don't know why, but always forget about this possibility of come va. It's very common, actually. It's even more common than come stai. Come stai is a little more intimate, actually. I would say that to a close friend, for example, but if I meet a friend, I would probably say come va. Okay? And then the reply. Bene. E tu? E lei? Very good. Perfect. So complimenti. Congratulations. We have just finished lesson 11. So we have finished reviewing lesson 1. Great job. I'm very proud of your progress. Have a great day. Ciao. A presto. Benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Beginners. Lesson 12, Curse 1. I'm your Italian teacher Claudia and I'm very happy to virtually see you here again with me today. So, before getting started with our new lesson, let's review what we have learned from lesson 11. So these are some of the new things and some of the things that we had already learned, but reviewing is always good. So for example, how to express your nationality. In my case, sono italiana. Ok? Il mio nome è Claudia. Qual è il tuo nome? Come va? Bene. E tu? E lei? Do you remember the difference between e tu and e lei? Great. Perfect. So today's lesson is going to be about reviewing lesson 2. As I have already mentioned, reviewing can be a little bit boring, but at the same time, it's very important to consolidate what you have previously learned. So if you remember, lesson 2 was about manners, buone maniere in Italian. So let's start with the first one. How to say please. Please in Italian is per favore. Per favore. Okay, as usual, please repeat right after me. Pronunciation is very important. Grazie mille. That literally means thank you 1,000 times. Perfect. Very good. Then, once you thank, the other person is going to answer you're welcome. You have two options. The first one, that is also the most common one, is prego. Prego. And the other one is di niente. Di niente. Okay, perfect. Very good. Then we have, do you remember all the different ways to say I'm sorry in Italian? So the first one, I'm sorry, is mi dispiace. Mi dispiace. And this is truly I'm sorry in English. Then you have several versions. I know it sounds scary now that you see it on screen, but we have several options to say excuse me. But actually it's very simple. So to say excuse me, first of all, you can either say scusa or scusami. And this is the friendly way to excuse yourself. For example, to a friend, to a member of your family, scusa, scusami. The difference between scusa and scusami is that scusami is literally excuse me, okay? And scusa is kind of a short version. You can use both of them, okay? You can choose. There is no actual difference when you're talking. And then you have the other options, scusi, mi scusi. And that's the very same thing. Basically, here you're being polite. So, for example, you're apologizing to someone that you don't know, someone that you respect, someone that is older than you, someone that is in a higher position than you, for example, your boss. So, if you're apologizing to some of these people, you are going to say scusi or mi scusi. Once again, mi scusi is literally excuse me, okay? While scusi is the short version. You can choose among the both of them. So you can either say scusi or mi scusi. There is no actual difference. Okay? Is it clear? Perfect. So let's do some exercises, okay? Where I'm going to provide you with some contexts and you will have to choose what to use. If you have to use mi dispiace, if you have to use scusa, if you have to use scusi, or you can also choose like between scusami and mi scusi. Okay? Perfect. So let's try. I'm going to read the context and I'll leave you a few seconds to choose the right manner. Okay? So, for example, you're walking down the street and accidentally bump into a stranger. What do you say? Yes, you say scusi or mi scusi. Okay, it's the same thing. The important thing is that you choose between scusi and mi scusi, because as specified, it's about a stranger. So you don't know this person, so you have to be polite. Okay, perfect. Then, another context. You're having a conversation with someone and you want to interject. What do you say? Yes, you say scusa. Assuming that you know the person you're having a conversation with. For example, it's a friend, okay? You're in a group of friends and you want to interject. Or maybe if you're in a meeting, in a professional meeting at your work, and you don't know the people you're interjecting with, then in that case, you can say scusi, okay? It really depends on who you're talking to. Perfect. Then, another context. So you're walking in your house and accidentally step on your dog's tail. What do you say? Yes, you say mi dispiace. Do you remember actually the difference between mi dispiace and scusa? It's actually as in English, so you use mi dispiace, I'm sorry, when you're regretting something that has happened. Okay, in this case, stepping on your dog's tail. Okay, perfect. Then, another one. So, for example, you're in a store and need the clerk's help to find something. To get his attention, what do you say? Yes, you say scusi, because you don't know the clerk. Or maybe if the clerk is one of your friends, then you can say scusa. Okay? In this case, you can also have chosen like mi scusi. Okay? Just to be polite. Perfect. Then, if you remember, in lesson 2, we had learned also some kinds of foods. The first one is coffee. Il caffè. Il caffè. Always remember the accent. Okay? And it's a masculine word. Then, the water. The water is l'acqua. L'acqua. And it's a feminine word. Then we have the beer, la birra, and it's a feminine word. Then, do you remember how to say, can you bring me in Italian? Yes, that's mi può portare. Mi può portare. Perfect. And then this is something new. So how, for example, if a waiter comes at your table and asks you what do you prefer to drink or to eat, for example, to say I take or I'll take, you use the verb prendere. Prendo, for example, prendo l'acqua. I'll take the water. Prendo. Perfect. Very good. So here we have an exercise. It's a mini dialogue. Okay? The context is I'm going to be the waiter and you are going to be my customer. Okay? So what you have to do is to reply, or in this case, you need also to start the conversation. Okay? Just use the words and expressions we have learned and reviewed today. Okay? I'll leave you a few seconds to start this dialogue, but of course, if you need more time, just pause the video, take your time, and then resume it. Okay? Let's do it. Sì? Sì, certo. Prego. So how did you do? Did your sentences look like these ones? These are just some examples, okay? But normally you would have started this conversation by saying, excuse me, to the waiter. Me, in this case. I would have said, yes, sì. Then you would have told me what you want to drink. For example, prendo un'acqua, prendo una birra, prendo un caffè, per favore. You add per favore, please, just to be polite. I'm going to answer sì, certo, yes, of course. You're gonna thank me and I'm going to say you're welcome. Prego. How did you do it? If you made some mistakes, no problem. Just try this mini dialogue one more time. Okay? Perfect. So let's review the new things we have seen today. The first one is how to say I take, I'll take. Prendo. And then you have all the ways to apologize, to say excuse me. So scusa, scusami, to excuse yourself in a friendly way. Or scusi, mi scusi. When you're apologizing, you're excusing yourself with someone that you don't know, someone that is older than you, and so on, to be polite. Okay, very good. In any case, complimenti, congratulations. You have just finished your 12th Italian lesson, and I'm very proud of your progress. I'm looking forward to continuing this journey with you, and have a great day. Grazie. Ciao. Benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Beginners, Lesson 13, Course 1. I'm your Italian teacher, Claudia, and I'm very happy to virtually see you here again for another class. So, before getting started, let's review the few new things we have seen in Lesson 12. So, as usual, please repeat right after me. Prendo. And then you have the several options to apologize and say excuse me. So, scusa, scusami. Scusi, mi scusi. Do you remember the differences? Just to recap, like real fast, scusa, scusami, it's the way you apologize to someone that you know. Scusi, mi scusi is the way to apologize to someone that you don't know, to be more polite. Okay? Perfect. So today's lesson is about reviewing lesson 3. Okay? Perfect. If you remember, lesson 3 was all about numbers. As usual, we're going to review the numbers and then we're going to add some new things. Okay, to make things more dynamic. So let's start with the numbers from 0 to 9. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. Very good. And then we're going to do the numbers from 10 to 19. Do you remember that this is the hardest this is the hardest part, until 20. Then it becomes pretty automatic. So let's start with 10. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and finally 19. 19. Okay? Very good. Then we have the number from 20, 20 to 29. And do you remember how it becomes automatic? So 20, 21, 22, literally 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Perfect. Then we have the numbers from 30 to 39. So 30, 31, 32, 33, and I'll leave you continuing it until 39. For example, 38, 38. Okay? 39, 39. It's really automatic as in English. Then we have the numbers from 40, 40, 40 with a Q, do you remember? To 49. Once again, automatic. 45, 45. 42, 42. 49, 49. Okay? If you want to review and repeat all the numbers, try to pause the video and to repeat them all. Okay? That's a good exercise. Then we have the numbers from 50, 50, 50 to 59, 59. Once again, for example, 52, 52, 55, 55, 57, 57. Easy, isn't it? Then the numbers from 60 to 69. 60 is 60. 60. 61, 61. 63, 63. 66, 66. 69, 69. Okay, is everything clear? I think it's pretty easy. Then we have the numbers from 70, 70 with 2T, 70 to 79, 79, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, and so on. Okay? 80 to 89. 80 is 80. 80. 89, 89. 84, 84. 87, 87. Okay? Perfect. And finally, we have the numbers from 90 to 100. 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, and finally 100. 100. Okay, very good. Did you remember all the numbers? Or did you need this review? So let's start with something new. And then, after 100, easy. 101. 101. 101. Is it clear? For example, 110, 110. So it really is automatic. Then we have 200s. 200s is 200. 200s. That literally means 200s. Okay? 300s, once again, automatic. 300. 300. Perfect. 400s. 400. Okay? The only difference is that hundreds So, 100, in this case, in Italian, is uncountable. Okay, so you always keep 100. You don't change it. 500s, 500. 587, 587. Okay, it really is automatic. 600s, 600. 600. 600s. 700s, 700. 700. Okay. 722, 722. Okay? As a good exercise, try to pick random numbers and try to translate them into Italian. That's a very good exercise. 800s, 800. Okay? 800. Perfect. 900s, 900. 900. 999, 999. As an example. Okay? Perfect. Very good. And finally, we have 1000. We have already seen this number before. Do you remember how to say thank you very much? Yes, that is grazie mille. Because that literally means thank you 1,000 times. So, 1000 in Italian is mille. Mille. Perfect. Very good. Awesome. So, complimenti. Congratulations. You have just finished this new lesson. Now it's time to practice and have fun as well with some numbers. Okay? Try to do as I suggest. Pick random numbers in English and try to translate them into Italian. So, I'm looking forward to starting a new lesson with you and a presto. Grazie. Ciao. Benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Beginners, Lesson 14, Curse 1. I'm your Italian teacher, Claudia, and I'm very happy to start this new lesson today. So before getting started, do you remember what we have done last time? So yes, it was all about numbers. To review them all, it would be impossible to do it now, so please return to the previous lesson and practice one more time. Okay? Perfect. Great. Today's lesson is about reviewing lesson 4. Do you remember what we did in lesson 4? We actually did the colors and some objects. So as usual, during these reviewing lessons, what we're going to do is to review what we have previously done and do some new things as well. Okay. Ready? Let's do it. So let's start with the colors. Do you remember that you can have several options for the colors because you need to match the noun. So you need to pick between the masculine and the feminine form. Blue, for example, blue in Italian is always blue. It never changes. Okay, perfect. Blue. Here it's all a matter of pronunciation. Blue, Italian, blue. Okay, perfect. Then we have red. Red can be either rosso, masculine, or rossa, feminine. Rosso, rossa. Okay, perfect. Then we have yellow. Yellow can be either giallo, giallo, masculine, or gialla, feminine. Okay, giallo, gialla. Then we have green. Green is always, no matter what, verde. Verde. Perfect. Then we have brown. Brown is always marrone. Marrone. It never changes as well. Then we have purple. Purple in Italian is viola. Viola. And it never changes as well. Okay? Pink. Pink in Italian is rosa. It might remind you of the flower, the rose, and in Italian it's actually the same name. Rosa, the color, rosa, the flower. Okay? Perfect. Then we have black. With black, you have the two options. So, nero, masculine, nera, feminine. Nero, nera. Great. Then we have white. Once again, two options. Bianco, masculine. Bianca, feminine. Bianco, bianca. Perfect. And then we have gray. Once again, you have the masculine and the feminine form. So, grigio, masculine. Grigio. Grigia, feminine. Grigio, grigia. Perfect. Very good. Awesome. So then we have orange. Orange in Italian never changes and is arancione. Arancione. And watch out, the fruit, the orange, in Italian is not arancione. Okay, it's a different word. Arancione. Orange, the fruit, is arancia. So they're similar, but not really the same, okay, as in English. Great. So let's do our first exercise. So this exercise is a little bit easier, we can say. So what you need to do is actually to look at the colors and write or say out loud the colors in Italian. Okay? So what I suggest you to do is to pause the video, take your time to say out loud or write all the colors in Italian, and then resume it. Okay? Because I'm going to reveal the solutions in a bit. Okay? Perfect. Time to pause the video. And let's see the solutions. So the solutions are blu, rosso. By default, you can actually choose when describing, like in this case, the masculine form. Okay, it's not really needed to say rosso, rossa, for example. In this case, it's just easier to choose one of the forms. Giallo, verde, marrone, viola, rosa, nero, bianco, grigio, and finally arancione. How did you do? Did you make any mistake? And that is all for the moment about the colors. So let's review the objects we had already learned and let's add some new ones. For example, the table. The table is il tavolo in Italian. Il tavolo. So it's masculine. Okay? Then we have the backpack. This is something new. Okay? The backpack in Italian is lo zaino. Lo zaino. And it's masculine. Okay? Very good. Then we have the chair. The chair, la sedia. La sedia. And it's feminine. Okay? Perfect. Then we have the bed. The bed, a very important object in our houses, is il letto. Il letto. Masculine. Okay? Perfect. The bag, la borsa. La borsa. And it's feminine. The sofa or the couch, this is new, is il divano. Il divano. Masculine. Okay? Perfect. The book, il libro. Il libro. Masculine. The paper, this is new, la carta. La carta. Feminine. Okay, perfect. The mirror, lo specchio. Lo specchio. So you have two C's and the H. The sound that corresponds to C, H, I, in this case, is always K. It's never ch, as in English, okay? It's always K. It's a harsh sound. And then we have the door. The door is la porta. La porta. Feminine. Okay? Perfect. The pen. This is similar. La penna. La penna. Feminine. And do you remember all the possibilities you have to say a in Italian? So if you remember, so you have two options for feminine words and two options for masculine words. So the masculine options are un, uno. If you remember, un is way more common. And you actually use uno as the number one, for example, for words that begin with PS, PT, Z. So it's really less common. And then for the feminine words, you have either una or un, but with an apostrophe. What is the difference? You actually use un with an apostrophe just in front of the words, of the feminine words that begin with a vocal. Okay? That's pretty easy. It's easier actually with the female ones than with the masculine ones. Okay, great. So let's do one last exercise. So here we are actually combining the objects we have learned with the colors. So what you have to do is to write or say out loud the colors in Italian, but you have to pay attention to the form. So for example, if you have a masculine word or a feminine one, okay? So once again, I suggest to pause the video, take your time to do the exercise, and then resume it. Okay? Perfect. Let's do it. Time to start. And here we have the solutions. So I'm going to read the solutions. For example, la carta rossa. So you use rossa because carta is a feminine word. Lo zaino nero. You choose nero because zaino, the backpack, is a masculine word. Then you have una penna rosa. Rosa never changes. Una porta gialla. Gialla because porta, the door, is a feminine word. Il divano blu. Blue never changes. Il letto verde. And verde never changes as well. How did you do it? Did you make any mistakes? If yes, try this exercise one more time. Okay? And now let's review all the new words of today's lesson. As usual, please repeat right after me. Lo zaino, il letto, il divano, la carta, la porta. Perfect. Very good. Great job, guys. So complimenti. Congratulations. You have just finished this new lesson and I'm very proud of your progress. Keep on the good work. Grazie e a presto. Benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Beginners, Lesson 15, Curse 1. I'm your Italian teacher, Claudia, and I'm very happy to see you here again for a new lesson with me. So before getting started, let's review all the new words we have learned in Lesson 14. If you remember, it was all about new objects and colors, but we already knew all the colors, so here are the new objects of the Lesson 14. So as usual, please repeat right after me. Lo zaino, il letto, il divano, la carta, la porta. Perfect. Very good. So today's lesson is about reviewing Lesson 5. If you remember, Lesson 5 was all about food. Okay? And as usual, we're going to review the things we have already done, and we're going to do some new things as well. So let's start with some food, with the food. Il cibo. Il cibo. Perfect. Then we have the bread. The bread is il pane. Il pane. Perfect. The rice, il riso. Il riso. The egg, l'uovo. L'uovo. It would be lo uovo, but as the words start with a vocal, then you delete the O and you put an apostrophe. L'uovo. Perfect. The meat, la carne, la carne, great. The pork, il maiale, very good. The chicken, il pollo, Always remember to learn and review these words with the article as well, because that's how you know if the word is masculine or feminine, okay? And as we have seen with the colors, that's a pretty important information. The beef, la carne di manzo, pretty long. La carne di manzo, perfect. The fish, il pesce, perfect. The vegetables, la verdura, perfect. The lettuce, la lattuga, perfect. The onion, la cipolla, very good. The garlic, l'aglio. Here we have the difficult sound l, G-L-I, l, l'aglio, masculine. It would be lo aglio, but as we have seen before, as the word starts with a vocal, you do the dio and you put an apostrophe, l'aglio, masculine. The pepper, il peperone, very good. The carrot, la carota, feminine. The tomato, il pomodoro, very good. The fruit, la frutta, very good. The apple, talking about fruit, la mela, great. The banana, if you remember here, is just a matter of pronunciation. So the banana becomes la banana, perfect. The pineapple, l'ananas, masculine. It will be lo ananas, okay? The strawberry, la fragola, feminine. The grape, l'uva, and it's feminine. It would be la uva, but as we have seen before, as the word starts with a vocal, then you delete the A and you put an apostrophe, l'uva. The drink, la bibita, very good. The milk, il latte, perfect. The tea, il tè, and remember the accent, because it's the accent that actually gives the sound e to the e. Without the accent, it would be il tè, but with the accent, it becomes il tè. Do you hear the difference? Tè without the accent, tè with an accent. Perfect. The sugar, lo zucchero, perfect. The honey, il miele, very good. And now, let's do a new category, the cutlery. In Italian, that is le posate. So it's plural. It's always plural. And le is an article for feminine plural words. The fork, la forchetta, The knife, il coltello, very good. The spoon, il cucchiaio, That might sound difficult. Il cucchiaio. Masculine. And then you have a word to say plate or dish as well. Il piatto. Il piatto. Fun enough, just piatto is also an adjective. And piatto, as an adjective, means flat. Then we have the bowl, la ciotola. La ciotola. Perfect. So do you remember how to say I want in Italian? We've actually also done the conjugation of the verb volere, if you remember. So I want literally would be voglio. Voglio. But if you remember, we said that it's always more polite to use I'd like as in English. So vorrei. Vorrei. Perfect. Very good. And then this is new. How to say I need something. I need something in Italian is ho bisogno di. Ho bisogno di. So you actually need the verb to have. This sentence literally means I have need of. That's the literal translation. Okay? And that's how you use it. For example, they need something, hanno bisogno di. So you, as in English, you need to conjugate. Okay? Perfect. Very good. And then the last word is with. With, in Italian, if you remember, is con. Con. Very good. So let's do an exercise. We have already done an exercise like this one. So what you have to do is to replace the red words with some of the words we have done today. So here you have the category and basically you have to choose one word. Okay? So if you need more time, just pause the video and take your time to do the exercise because I'm going to reveal the solutions. I mean, like some examples of solutions because there is no just one solution, of course. Okay, time to pause the video and do the exercise. And here are the solutions. For example, first sentence. Vorrei riso con uovo e cipolla. I'd like some rice with an egg and onion. Example of the second sentence. Vorrei fragole e tè con zucchero. I'd like strawberries and tea with sugar. Okay? And then you have a lot of options for the last sentence. Ho bisogno di un cucchiaio, ho bisogno di un coltello, ho bisogno di un piatto, ho bisogno di una forchetta, for example. Just remember to pick the right article. Okay? So, one of the two options for masculine words, and una for the feminine ones, as a. Okay, I need a spoon, I need a fork. In English, there is no difference. In Italian, unfortunately, there is a difference. Okay? Perfect. So if you had made some mistakes, just try this exercise one more time. Try to change the words you used, for example. Okay? Great. And now let's review the new words of today's lesson. Le posate, la forchetta, il coltello, il cucchiaio, il piatto, la ciotola, ho bisogno di. I know it's tempting in English not to use the verb to have when saying I need something because you literally translate from the English language, but in Italian it's really necessary. So you always need to use the verb to have as well. Ho bisogno di. Okay? Perfect. You did it. We have just finished today's lesson. So, complimenti, congratulations. You have done a great job. And I'm looking forward to starting this new lesson. And have a great day. Ciao. A presto. Benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Beginners. Lesson 16, Curse 1. I'm your Italian teacher Claudia and I'm looking forward to starting this new lesson with you today. So before getting started, let's review all the new words of lesson 15. So first of all, le posate, la forchetta, il coltello, il cucchiaio, il piatto, la ciotola, ho bisogno di. Do you remember this expression? It literally means I need something, okay? That's the meaning in English. Great. So today's lesson is about reviewing both lesson 7 and lesson 8 together. So it's going to be quite intense. If you remember, lesson 7 was more about the animals and lesson 8 was the first lesson about the verb conjugations. Okay? Let's start. So, lesson 7, as I mentioned, was about the animals. Gli animali. Gli animali. Gli is a masculine article for plural nouns. Okay? Great. The cat, il gatto. Il gatto. The dog, il cane. Il cane, masculine. The bird, l'uccello. So here, as we have seen before, the article would be lo, but as the word starts with a vocal, then it becomes L with an apostrophe. The elephant, l'elefante, same thing here, lo elefante, so l'elefante. The lion, il leone. Il leone. The bear, l'orso. Once again, lo orso, so l'orso, masculine. The horse, il cavallo. Il cavallo. Perfect. The tiger, la tigre. La tigre, feminine. Perfect. The bull, il toro. Il toro. Great. The turtle, la tartaruga. Did you remember this long word? La tartaruga. Perfect. The pig, il maiale. Il maiale. The cow, la mucca. La mucca. Perfect. The sheep, la pecora. La pecora. So it's a feminine word. The duck, quite similar, I have to admit. La papera. So la pecora, the sheep. La papera, the duck. Okay? And then let's start with the verbs. So the first verbs we have done. Correre, to run. To walk is camminare. To jump, saltare. Saltare. And then do you remember the first adverbs we have done? Fast, velocemente. Velocemente. And remember that this is just the adverb. If you use fast as an adjective, then you need to use veloce and not velocemente. Velocemente is the adverb. Same thing here. Slowly, adverb, lentamente. Lentamente. If you want to use slow as an adjective, then you have once again two options. Lento, masculine form. Lenta, feminine form. Is it clear? Great. So then let's add a new one. High. High as an adverb is in alto. In alto. Great. And if you want to use as an adjective, then once again you have the two options. So you have alto, masculine form, alta, feminine form. And use alto, alta also for tall. Okay, great. So let's do an exercise. We have already done an exercise like this one. So what you have to do is just to use a verb, and you need to conjugate it. So it's kind of a spoiler of what we're going to review next. And then you have to use an adverb as well, referring to those animals. So once again, I suggest to pause the video, take your time to do the exercise, and then resume it when you're ready. Okay? Perfect. Time to start the exercise. And here are some possible solutions. For example, il cavallo corre velocemente. The horse runs fast. Il maiale cammina lentamente. The pig walks slowly. La tigre salta in alto. The tiger jumps high. Okay? Perfect. Great. So, let's start resuming and reviewing lesson 8. If you remember, it was all about verbs. It was quite intense, actually. But let's start with a word that is very familiar, and that's exercise. Esercizio. Esercizio. Perfect. So to do exercise is fare esercizio. Fare esercizio. Great. To swim, nuotare. Nuotare. To dance, ballare. Ballare. To ride a bike, andare in bicicletta. That literally means to go on a bike. And remember that you can also use the short version, andare in bici. To play, giocare, giocare. To sweat, sudare. Then do you remember how to say I like or I don't like? So, well, to say I like, you have once again two possibilities. The first one is mi piace. If there is just one thing that you like, mi piace la pizza, for example. Mi piacciono is another version, and you use it when there are several things that you like. For example, mi piacciono gli animali. I like animals. Okay? So it really depends on what you like. If it's just one thing or more than one thing. Okay? And to say I don't like, what you have to do is just to place non before mi piace or mi piacciono. So, I don't like, non mi piace il riso. I don't like rice, for example. Or non mi piacciono gli animali. That's not true, but that's a good example. So, no, I don't like animals. Okay? Perfect. Very good. So, let's do an exercise. So here what you have to do is just to replace the red word. So, for example, in the first case, it's about animals. In the second case, you have to put a verb. Okay? Pay attention to the differences. Okay? Very good. So I suggest to pause the video and resume it when you're ready. Okay, so how did you do? I'll see you some examples. Mi piacciono gli elefanti. I like elephants. So here you have to use something that is plural because you have mi piacciono. Example of the second sentence, non mi piace sudare. I don't like to sweat. Mi piace il cane. I like the dog. Okay, so here you have mi piace, so you have to like just one thing. Okay, is it clear? Perfect. So here, let's start to talk about conjugation. So do you remember that in Italian we have 3 groups of verbs? So the verbs that end with are, first group, the verbs that end with ere, second group, and the verbs that end with ire, third group. Okay? And they have slightly different conjugations. So to conjugate a verb, do you remember how to do it? So basically you take the verb root, so the part of the verb without are or ere or ire, and you attach the different endings, proper according to the group. So these are all the endings for the verbs that end with are. and that you have to attach to the verb root. Do you remember them all? So let's see one example. Camminare. Camminare is a regular verb. So its conjugation, starting from the verb root, that is cammin, is io cammino, tu cammini, lui, lei cammina, noi camminiamo, voi camminate, essi camminano. Watch out the accent here. Camminano. Great. Another example. Saltare. Another regular verb. The verb root is salt. Io salto, tu salti, lui, lei salta, noi saltiamo, voi saltate, essi saltano. Great. Another example. Nuotare. Another regular verb. The verb root is nuot. Io nuoto, tu nuoti, lui, lei nuota, noi nuotiamo, voi nuotate, essi nuotano. Do you remember this verb? Great. Giocare. Another regular verb. Verb root, gioc. Io gioco, tu giochi. So here you have a tiny exception, because you really need to put the H. Without the H, the sound would be tu giochi, and you have to preserve the sound of the K. That's why you put an H. Tu giochi, lui, lei gioca, noi giochiamo, same thing here. Without the H, it would be giociamo. That doesn't work. Voi giocate, essi giocano. Okay? Great. Fare. Fare is irregular. Io faccio, tu fai, lui, lei fa, noi facciamo, voi fate, essi fanno. Two ends, okay? Great. And these are all the desinences for the verbs of the second group, so the verbs that end with ere. If you remember, there are just some slight differences. So look at the tables to see all the endings. Did you remember them all? Let's see one practical example. Correre. Correre is regular, so the verb root is cor. Io corro, tu corri, lui, lei corre, noi corriamo, voi correte, essi corrono. Great. Perfect. So we're gonna do a review of the verb that end with the verbs that end with ire in the next lesson. Okay. So the new things we have seen today is the adverb high, in alto, and how to say I like in the two possible ways. So mi piace, mi piacciono, singular and plural. And if you want to say I don't like, you just have to place non. Non mi piace, non mi piacciono. Okay? Great. That was an intense lesson, but you did a great job. Complimenti. Congratulations. I'm looking forward to starting a new lesson with you. And for the moment, ciao. Grazie. Benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Beginners, Lesson 17, Course 1. I'm your Italian teacher, Claudia, and I'm very happy to start this new lesson with you today. So before getting started, let's review the new vocabulary of Lesson 16. The first word is an adverb, high, in alto, in alto. And then we have the two possibilities to say I like, I don't like. Mi piace, mi piacciono, as I like. Do you remember the difference? Mi piace, if you like just one thing. Mi piacciono, if you like more than just one thing. Non mi piace, non mi piacciono. I don't like. Okay? Great. So today's lesson is about reviewing lessons 9 and 10. If you remember, there were lessons mainly about verbs and conjugation. So let's start with some verbs. To be, essere, essere. To have, avere, avere. Then we have to go, andare, andare. To be able to, can, potere, potere. Fun enough, potere can mean also power. To talk or to speak, parlare, parlare. Great. To see, vedere, vedere. So here you have a recap of all the endings for the verbs, for the conjugation, of the verbs of the first group. So the verbs that end with are. Give it a look, pause the video if you need a little bit more time because we're going to see some practical examples. Parlare. Parlare is a regular verb. I remind you it means to speak or to talk. Io parlo. Tu parli. Lui, lei parla. Noi parliamo. Voi parlate. Essi parlano. Okay, super regular. No exceptions. Then we have andare. Andare is irregular. So even if the verb root is and, remember the verb root is the first part of the verb. So the verb without are. Io vado. Tu vai. Lui, lei va. Then the verb becomes regular. Noi andiamo. Voi andate. And then it becomes irregular again. Essi vanno. Is it clear? Perfect. Then here we have the verbs of the second group. So the verbs that end with ere. Once again, if you need some time to review all the endings, just pause the video. Okay? So the first example is essere, to be. The verb to be, as in all languages, is always irregular. So, io sono, tu sei, lui, lei è, with an accent. Always remember to put the accent because e, in Italian, without the accent means and. So there is quite a difference. Noi siamo, voi siete, essi sono. Perfect. Then we have avere. Once again, avere is irregular. Io ho, tu hai, lui, lei ha, noi abbiamo, voi avete, essi hanno. So always remember to put the H for I, you, he, she, they. Okay? For example, hanno without the H means ear in Italian. Okay. Then we have potere. Potere is to be able to, can. Once again, is an irregular verb. So its conjugation is io posso, tu puoi, lui, lei può, with an accent, noi possiamo, voi potete, essi possono. Great. Then we have vedere. Vedere is regular. Okay, so no exception. So you take the verb root, ved, and you attach the endings. So io vedo, tu vedi, lui, lei vede, noi vediamo, voi vedete, essi vedono. Okay? Perfect. Then let's add all the verbs of lesson 10. To give, dare, dare. To eat, mangiare, mangiare. Perfect. To know, sapere, sapere. to know, once again, is conoscere. Do you remember the difference between sapere and conoscere? Sapere is more a practical knowledge, okay? Conoscere can be used for people. For example, I know your friend. Conosco il tuo amico. Or it can also be used for theoretical knowledges. For example, I know French. Conosco il francese. Okay? Perfect. To put, mettere. Mettere. To want, volere. Volere. To say or to tell, dire. Dire. Great. So let's see the conjugation of these verbs. First of all, mangiare. Mangiare is a regular verb. So you take the verb root, mangi, and you attach the endings. Io mangio, tu mangi, lui, lei mangia, noi mangiamo, voi mangiate, essi mangiano. Watch out the accent here, mangiano. Okay? Perfect. Then we have dare. Dare is irregular. Io do, as the note. Tu dai. Lui, lei dà, with an accent. Noi diamo. Voi date. Essi danno. Fun enough, danno, written exactly in the very same way and pronounced in the very same way, means also damage. Then we have conoscere. Conoscere, so a verb of the second group that ends with ere, is regular. So you take the verb root, conosce, and you attach the endings. Io conosco, tu conosci. So you see how the sound changes here. So the first sound for SC is sh. For you, the sound becomes S, ci, I, she. Lui, lei conosce. Noi conosciamo. Voi conoscete. Essi conoscono. So the sound becomes hard once again. Conoscono. Perfect. Then we have sapere. Sapere is irregular. Io so. Tu sai. Lui, lei sa. Noi sappiamo. Voi sapete. Essi sanno. Perfect. Mettere. Mettere is regular. So, io metto. Tu metti. Lui, lei mette. Noi mettiamo. Voi mettete. Essi mettono. To put. Okay? Perfect. Then we have volere. Volere is irregular. As you can guess. Io voglio. Tu vuoi. Lui, lei vuole. Noi vogliamo. Voi volete. Essi vogliono. Okay? Perfect. Then we have the verbs that end with ire. So I have put the table here because we haven't seen verbs that end with ire yet in our reviewing activities. So this is the table about the endings. So if you need more time to review them, just pause the video. Okay? We're going to do one practical example. The verb dire. Dire is irregular. Io dico. Tu dici. Lui, lei dice. Noi diciamo. Voi dite. Essi dicono. Okay? Perfect. Did you remember all these verbs? That's why reviewing is very important. In either case, complimenti. Congratulations. You have just finished reviewing our past lessons. I'm looking forward to starting a new lesson with you as soon as possible and have a great day. Grazie. A presto. Benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Beginners, Lesson 18, Course 1. I'm your Italian teacher Claudia and I'm very happy to start this new lesson today. So, today's lesson is about something completely new. We're going to talk about the dates, le date in Italian, le date. Le is an article, is a feminine and plural article, le date, and it's the only plural feminine one, okay? Great. So let's start. For example, the week, la settimana, la settimana. Perfect. The days of the week, I giorni della settimana. The days of the week. Della is of the. Okay? Perfect. Then we have the first day of the week. So Monday. Monday is lunedì with an accent at the end. Lunedì. Tuesday, martedì. So you still have the accent. Martedì. Wednesday, mercoledì. Mercoledì. Thursday, giovedì. Giovedì. Perfect. Friday, venerdì. Venerdì. Great. Saturday, sabato. No accent here. Sabato. And finally, Sunday. Sunday is domenica. Domenica. Maybe our favorite day of the week. So, okay, perfect. So let's start with the months then. The months, I mesi. I mesi. I is a masculine plural article, and it's actually the plural form of the masculine singular article il. Il becomes I in plural, okay? I mesi, the months. Perfect. So let's start from January. January, gennaio. Gennaio. Also, if you want to say in January, for example, the preposition that you have to use in Italian is not in, but a. So the simple letter A in English. In January, a gennaio. February, febbraio. Febbraio. In February, a febbraio. Okay? That applies to all months. March, marzo. Marzo. So letter Z has the sound S. Marzo. April, aprile. That is easy. Aprile. Watch out the accent. Aprile. May, maggio. Maggio. In May, a maggio. Okay? Always the same. June, giugno. Giugno. So G and O has the sound gno. Giugno. July, luglio. Luglio. Perfect. August, agosto. Agosto. September, settembre. Now you have the start of the easy part of the months because they are very similar to the English ones. Settembre. October, ottobre. Ottobre. November, novembre. Novembre. So basically you just switch R and E in English. But then the pronunciation is a little bit different, of course. And December, dicembre. Dicembre. Great. Perfect. The year. The year, l'anno. If you remember, I anticipated that in last lesson. We were talking about the verb to have. They have is lo essi hanno, but with an H. That's the great difference. l'anno. Anno is a masculine word, so its article is lo. But as the word starts with a vocal, then you delete the O and you put an apostrophe. L'anno. Okay, so let's do a small exercise. What you will have to do is just to write or say out loud the missing days of the week. Okay? So just pause the video and take your time to complete the exercise, because I'm going to reveal the solutions in a bit. Ready? Time to pause the video. And here are the solutions. So you have, repeat right after me please, lunedì, martedì, mercoledì, giovedì, venerdì, sabato, domenica. How did you do it? Perfect. And now let's do another one. So you will have to do the same thing, but with the months. Okay? So once again, pause the video and take your time to fill the missing months in. Okay? Ready? Start. And here are the solutions. Okay? So the missing months were febbraio, aprile, giugno, agosto, ottobre, dicembre. If you made some mistakes, just try this exercise one more time. Okay? Perfect. So let's review all the new things we have seen in this lesson. As usual, please repeat right after me. Lunedì, martedì, mercoledì, giovedì, venerdì, sabato, domenica, gennaio, febbraio, marzo, aprile, maggio, giugno, luglio, agosto, settembre, ottobre, novembre, dicembre. L'anno, la settimana, il mese, i mesi. The month, the months. Okay? Perfect. Very good. I hope you enjoyed these new lessons, and complimenti, congratulations, you have just finished this new lesson. We're very close to the end of course 1. I'm very proud of your work and thank you for being with me. Ciao. Benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Beginners, lesson 19, course 1. I'm your Italian teacher Claudia and I'm very happy to start this new lesson today. So before getting started, let's review all the new things from lesson 18. As usual, please repeat right after me. Lunedì, martedì, mercoledì, giovedì, venerdì, sabato, domenica. I giorni della settimana, right? And then gennaio, febbraio, marzo, aprile, maggio, giugno, luglio, agosto, settembre, ottobre, novembre, dicembre. L'anno, la settimana, il mese, i mesi. Okay? Did you remember all the months and the days of the week? If not, this review was very useful then. Okay, so today we're gonna do something new. So we're gonna talk about time, il tempo. So for example, what if you want to ask what time is it? What time is it in Italian is che ore sono? Che ore sono? Perfect. And now let's see some examples. If you want to say it's 1 o'clock, then you say è l'una. È l'una. It is that literally means actually it is the one. Okay, we don't use o'clock. È l'una. So we use the verb to be in Italian as well. But then something changes. For example, it's 2 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock is sono le due. So why do we use sono and not è anymore? Because it's 2. So 2 is more than 1. So you need to use the plural form. Okay? Is it clear? Sono le due. And also, when you're talking about time, the hours, due, una, etc., are always considered as feminine plural words from 2 on. It's 3 o'clock, sono le tre. And that's why we use le. That is a feminine plural article. Sono le tre. It's 4 o'clock, sono le quattro. Okay? So the numbers don't change. It is the article that changes. It's 5 o'clock, sono le cinque. It becomes pretty automatic then. Sono le cinque. It's 6 o'clock, sono le sei. Sono le sei. And then here, let's start to do something different. For example, it's 7:15. That in Italian is sono le 7:15. Sono le 7:15. So literally that means it's 7:15. So it's 7 o'clock plus a quarter. That makes sense, doesn't it? And how about it's 8:30, for example? To say it's 8:30 in Italian, you say sono le 8:30. Sono le 8:30. And that literally means it's 8.5. Once again, it makes sense if you think about it. Then it's 9:15. Okay? It's 9:15 in Italian is sono le 9:45. That literally means it's 9 o'clock minus a quarter. Okay, is it clear? Sono le 9 meno un quarto. Perfect. It's 10:20, for example. That is pretty easy. Sono le 10:20. It is 10:20. Okay, perfect. Sono le 10:20. It's 10:55. Here you have two options, okay? The most common one is the one that you see now in your screen. Sono le 11 meno 5. Sono le 11 meno 5. So it's 11 minus 5. Okay? The other options that you have that is less used, but it works, is sono le 10:55. So it's 10:55. Okay? Perfect. Let's do some exercises then. You see you have some clocks. Okay, this is the first one. So what you have to do is to say the hour looking at the clock. Okay? You can write it if you feel more comfortable. You can say it out loud. Okay? It's up to you. So I'm going to leave you a few seconds to tell me the hour, but if you need more time, of course, just pause the video and resume it when you're ready. Okay? So what time is it? Che ore sono? Yes, sono le 3. Sono le 3. Okay? Also, another important thing that I have to tell you about the time in Italy is that we don't use AM and PM. So, for example, sono le 3 could refer to 3 a.m. in the morning or 3 p.m. Normally, you can understand if you're talking about 3 a.m. or p.m. from the context, okay? But if you want to specify, you can say sono le 3, and that would mean sono le 3 in the morning, or you can say sono le 15. Le 15, 3 p.m. Is it clear? Perfect. But normally, as I told you, you don't have to specify because it's pretty obvious from the context. Another example. Che ore sono? Yes. Sono le 7:15. Sono le 7:15. It's 7:15. Sono le 7:15. And I remind you that literally means it's 7:15. Okay? Great. Another one. Che ore sono? This is a little bit more difficult. È 1:30. Did you remember to change the verb to be? Because we're talking about one. One is singular. So you use the singular form of the verb to be, è. È 1:30. It's 1:30. Okay? Or you can also say è 1:30. It's 1:30. Okay? Or another possibility is if we're talking about 1:30 p.m., okay, you could have said sono le 13, 1 p.m., e 30. Sono le 13:30. But once again, this is less common, okay? Great. Awesome. How are you doing with the time? Is it easy or is it a little bit more difficult? So let's do another exercise. When it comes to time, practice is very important. So, che ore sono? Yes, sono le 5:15. Sono le 5:15. It's 5 minus a quarter. Okay, that's the literal meaning. Or you could have said sono le 4:45. Sono le 4:45. It's 4:45. Okay? Perfect. Very good. So, once again, first of all, complimenti, congratulations for finishing also this lesson. And I might suggest to practice with time. For example, try to look at random times at your clock and try to say the time in Italian. Okay, that's a very good exercise. So I'm looking forward to seeing you here for our last lesson together, and have a great day. Grazie. A presto. Benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Beginners, Lesson 20, Course 1. I'm your Italian teacher, Claudia, and I'm very happy to start our new lesson for Course 1. So today, we're going to talk about the difference in Italian between the verb to be, essere, and the verb to stay, stare. Okay? So let's see the conjugation of the verb stare first. Stare is a verb that belongs to the first group, as it ends with are. Okay? And let's see its conjugation then. Io sto, tu stai, lui, lei sta, noi stiamo, voi state, essi stanno. Okay? Perfect. Then let's see all the difference. For example, all the situations where you use the verb to be. As we have seen in last lesson, we use the verb to be to talk about time. For example, it's 1 o'clock. È l'una. It's 2 o'clock. Sono le due. Do you remember that you have to change the verb? Because due is more than one. Okay, so it's plural. So you need to use the verb in a plural form. It's 3 o'clock. Sono le tre. It's 4:30. Sono le 4:30. Do you remember how to express time? If you have some doubts, please check the previous lesson. Okay? Then we use the verb to be to talk about the date. For example, it's October 10th. È il 10 ottobre. So here you can also see the differences between how we write and say the date compared to the English way. Okay? So what do we say is it is the 10 October. That it's literal meaning. Okay? È il 10 ottobre. It is the 10 October. Okay? And that's how you always write it or say it. It's June 17th. È il 7 giugno. It's April 21st. È il 21 aprile. Okay? It's pretty clear, actually. It's easier than in English, I'd say. Then, also, you use the verb to be when it comes to the day of the week. For example, it's Monday. È lunedì. It is Monday. Always remember that in Italian we don't use subjects that much. So, for example, when we're writing or when we're talking, we're not always using them. It's Thursday. È giovedì. It's Sunday. È domenica. Okay? Never forget the accent on the verb to be è. Okay? Great. Then, you use the verb to be to talk about origins. For example, in my case, sono italiana. I am Italian. And I'm using italiana because I'm a woman. So, for example, if you're American, you would say, and you're a man, you would say sono americano because you're a man. Okay? Perfect. Then we use the verb to be to ask the question, where are you from? You have two possibilities for this question. The first one is di dove sei? Di dove sei? Where are you from? And the other one is da dove vieni? And this is more, where do you come from? Okay, so we use the verb venire, that is to come. Da dove vieni? Also, you use the verb to be, as we have seen before. For example, she is Spanish. È spagnola. Okay, spagnola, with an A at the end, because she's a woman. We are English. Siamo inglesi. Siamo inglesi. Okay? Perfect. Then you use the verb to be when talking about religion. For example, he is Jewish. È ebreo. If it was a woman, that would have been è ebrea. Okay? You're Christian. Sei cristiano. If we're talking about a man. If we're talking about a woman, sei cristiana. I'm Muslim. Sono musulmana. So here, in this case, there is a woman talking. If it was a man, that would have been sono musulmano. Is it clear with the adjectives? She's atheist. È atea. It's a woman. If it was a man, è ateo. With an O at the end, as usual. Okay? Great. Then you use the verb to be also when talking about politics. It's a democratic country. è un paese democratico. È un paese democratico. So also another difference from the English language is that you put the adjective not in front of the word, but after the word itself. I mean, you can put the adjective before the word, but that is a little bit poetic, actually. The president is Republican. Il presidente è repubblicano. Il presidente è repubblicano. Perfect. And then you use the verb to be when talking about materials. For example, the shirt is cotton. La camicia, the shirt, so it's a feminine word in Italian, sorry, è di cotone. La camicia è di cotone. The literal translation of this sentence in English would be, the shirt is of cotton. Okay? That's how you talk about materials in Italian. Great. Then we use the verb to be, as in English, to talk about relationships. She's my mother. È mia madre. È mia madre. He is my brother's friend. È l'amico di mio fratello. È l'amico di mio fratello. And that literally is, he is the friend of my brother. Is it clear? Great. Then we use the verb to be to talk about physical characteristics, as in English. Once again, she is tall, è alta. So you see here, even if we don't have the subject in Italian, we know that we're talking about a woman because it's alta and not alto. Alto would be for a man. We are short. Siamo bassi. And that means that either we are a group of all men or we are a group of, 3 men and 1 woman. Okay? If it was a group of all women, then we would have said siamo basse. Okay? Siamo basse. But even if it's a group of 2 and there is a man and a woman, then you have to use the masculine plural form. So, siamo bassi. Okay? Basse is used only when it's all women. Okay? I'm blonde. Sono biondo. Sono biondo. So, in this case, I am a man, because I didn't say sono bionda. Great. Perfect. Then, we also use the verb to be, as in English, to talk about people's personality. I'm shy. Sono timida. And in this case, it is a girl or a woman talking. Sono timida. The boy is outgoing. Il ragazzo è estroverso. Il ragazzo è estroverso. Perfect. Then, the verb to be is used also to talk about locations. Once again, as in English. Rome is in Italy. Roma è in Italia. I am at the store. Sono al negozio. My mother is at home. Mia madre è a casa. Okay? Perfect. Then, we use the verb to be also when talking about some specific conditions. For example, I am happy. Sono felice. Sono felice. And watch out, felice never changes. If it's a woman or a man, it doesn't matter. It's always felice. She is sad, è triste. If it was he is sad, that would have been è triste. So the very same thing. The food is cold. Il cibo è freddo. Il cibo è freddo. Freddo because cibo is a masculine word. Okay? Perfect. Then, when do we use the verb stare? Then, to stay. So we use the verb stare to express feelings and for making a progressive tense. Okay, we're gonna talk about it in a bit. So first of all, let's see the feeling situation, okay? Actually, it is used only to express two kinds of feeling. I am well and I feel bad. I am well, in Italian, is sto bene. Do you remember the question, how are you? It could be, come va or come stai? So in the question, you have the verb to stay. So when you answer, you need to use the verb to stay as well. Sto bene, sto male. I feel bad. Does that make sense? Okay, great. And then, as I mentioned, we use the verb to stay also when making the present progressive. Okay? How do you make that? It's pretty easy actually. You first have to use the verb to stay instead of the verb to be, as in English, and the verb needs to be conjugated, of course. And then you have to add this tense that is called gerundio in Italian. That is pretty easy. So you actually take the verb root, for example, mangiare, so mangi, and you attach ando for the verbs that end with are, endo for the verbs that end with ere and ire. Okay? For example, I am walking, sto camminando. Walk, to walk is camminare, so it's a verb of the first group. You take the verb root, cammin, and you add ando. And you make the progressive tense by adding the verb to stay. Sto camminando. I am walking. They are jumping. Stanno saltando. Saltare, salt, ando. Plus the verb to stay before. My father is running. Mio padre sta correndo. Correre, verb of the second group. You take the verb root, corre, and you add endo. Okay, is it clear? Perfect. This is just an overview. Of course, we're gonna do the progressive tense a little bit better in the next courses. So let's do an exercise. So here, what you have to do is just to translate these 4 sentences. So I'm going to read them, and then what you can do is to pause the video and take your time to translate these sentences. And then you can resume the video once you're ready. Okay? First sentence. I am going to. We are seeing. It's 5 o'clock. You are shy. Okay, time to pause the video and do the exercise. And here are the solutions. So, I am going, sto andando. We are seeing, stiamo vedendo. It's 5 o'clock, sono le 5. You are shy, sei timido. But it could have been sei timida as well, because we don't know in this case if it's a woman or a man. Okay? How did you do it? Did you make any mistakes? And then let's do another exercise. So here you just have to fill in the blank spaces. So take your time to read the sentences and to complete the exercise. Pause the video and resume it once you're ready. Okay? Perfect. And here are the solutions. So, for example, first sentence, di dove sei or di dove siete? Where are you from? Mio padre sta correndo. My father is running. Roma è in Italia. Rome is in Italy. Did you remember to put the accent? È il 7 giugno. It's June the 7th. Sono le 2. It's 2 o'clock. Mia madre è triste. My mother is sad. How was it? Was it too difficult, maybe? Okay, awesome. So we have finished our 20th and last class. So complimenti, you have just finished course 1. I'm really proud of your progress and I'm looking forward to starting a new course with you. So keep on practicing Italian, that's very important, and see you soon. Thank you for being with me. Ciao, a presto.
Hello again. Well done on making it through this entire course. You did such a good job and you should be so proud of yourself. because Claudia is proud of you. Before you go, I would just like to ask you one more time if you could please leave an honest review on this course. It would really help us and we would be endlessly grateful. We hope to see you in future courses and we hope you enjoyed this one. Until next time, bye!